Are you ready for some football?
Yo, what is up, everybody? The time is here. We finally arrived.
Finally.
Welcome to Flight Club Football. Not to be confused with that movie with Edward Norton and Brad Pitt. It's not Fight Club, but the very first rule of Flight Club: talk about Flight Club. Tell everybody about it. Get people in here. Without further ado, I am your host T.B.K. alongside co-host Chris. Yes, we are supposed to have 3 people. We do have 3 people. The other one, he's behind the scenes right now. He's producing the show. He's making sure everything's good. Everything runs smooth. Don't worry. He will be here. With all that out of the way, Chris.
Yeah.
What's up, man?
What's going on, man? I'm so happy we finally got this show going right before the season started too. I think this is great. I'm so looking forward to talking football this season with you, man. And Rob, in a few weeks, it's going to be great. I'm really looking forward to it. Hopefully, listen, if you're out there, if you're on YouTube, hit that sub button so you know when the next show is coming up and you could be part of the show as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. This show depends on you guys. We want to hear from you when we want to talk to you. Make sure to drop some comments. And absolutely, real quick, NYMLB Talk. It is hosted by Chris and Rob. All things Mets, all things Yankees. These guys are absolutely killing it. If baseball is your thing, if you're not that into football, if you like baseball, go over there, give them a sub, tell them T.B.K. sent you. They can hear me, but tell them I sent you.
Definitely.
Okay, so are we on YouTube? Did it go through?
Yes, we should be. Yeah, because Rob just commented on YouTube, and this fan, that wrestling chick, she just posted from YouTube, so it should be from YouTube. It should be good.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So
we're good.
Without further ado, let's kick this off.
Yes.
All right. So the big story right now going around, like within the past 24 hours, Lamar Jackson. Apparently he sustained some kind of injury. The reason why I say some kind of injury is because they don't know. Or they do know and they're covering it up, which has left a lot of fans kind of on edge right now. Look, us Ravens fans and other fans know full well the Ravens season depends on Lamar Jackson. You can't lie about it. You can't front about it. 100%. So the story going around is that he took a hit, and when he got back up, apparently he was flexing his throwing hand and his wrist. He was doing one of these numbers here, moving his hand all around.
Yeah.
So they brought him out. He sat out a couple plays, came back in, and was having trouble making throws. So about 40 minutes later, he left the field with the strength and conditioning coach. And then all of a sudden the report came out that somebody had stepped on Lamar's foot. That is the narrative they're going with right now. They're saying that someone stepped on his foot, caused him to fall. And that's the thing. The weird part about it is that there's a bunch of players and coaches who were in the vicinity when this supposed incident play went down, who said that they didn't see Lamar's foot get stepped on.
Okay. Well, I'm going to on Twitter, or actually, I think he's on Instagram, right? Lamar Jackson. Somebody posted a picture. It says, "Is Lamar Jackson's foot injury scarier than the Ravens are letting on?" And his response was a laughing emoji.
Right.
So I don't know. Take that for what it is. I would think he's, like saying it's a joke, and obviously it probably means he's okay. I think if it was more serious, I think you would have heard something that it was worse. Something would have leaked out, I think.
I would hope so. And again, to me, it feels like there's fans who feel a little bit jaded because Harbaugh has covered up things before. Because obviously you don't want to let any other teams know that your starting quarterback is potentially hurt right before the season.
Right.
I understand that. But you want to be truthful to your fans. Like, because again, we know how important Lamar is to the success of our season.
Right. Definitely.
I mean, I don't know. I told everybody I was watching another broadcast today, and I had left a comment being like, listen, if they say he's fine, then he's fine. And the reason why I say that is because, again, this is Lamar Jackson. This is your guy. This is the guy that you have spent, oh my God, the amount of money that you have spent on this man now. You've locked him in for the foreseeable future. If something were to happen to him, you have to say something.
Yeah.
Because your whole season potentially goes down the drain.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Listen, this is the same thing if Cincinnati loses Joe Burrow, if Kansas City loses Patrick Mahomes. This is, their whole season is on, obviously, the quarterback, right? Without a doubt. Do you think Lamar is worth that much money?
Yeah, I would. Okay, so Lamar has proven that he can get to the playoffs. Lamar has proven that without him, we probably wouldn't make it to the playoffs.
Right.
Yeah, the to turn a phrase, the monkey on his back is always going to be that in the playoff he falls apart. And
right.
Until he breaks that narrative, until he makes it to the big dance, it's almost sad because no matter what he does, that's all people are going to be talking about.
Yeah. Without a doubt. And listen, there's only, you could easily count them on one hand and only a couple of fingers how many teams that would not take Lamar Jackson. So
Right.
Is he worth the money? He's worth whatever the money is for a top quarterback in this league. He's a multiple
Absolutely.
MVP. You're right. Yeah, he's got to get over the hump. He's got to get to the Super Bowl and win it. We get it. That's obvious. Any top quarterback has that monkey on his back. Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, they all got it, right?
Sure.
Until Justin Herbert, all these guys, every one of them has it. But when you've been to the playoffs a few times and you've won multiple MVPs, that it gets bigger, obviously, right? So Lamar's is probably bigger than some of the other guys, right? Just for that reason. But is he worth the money? Absolutely. He's absolutely worth the money. Can we say any player is technically worth their money, the money, right? That's a whole other discussion. But if we're talking about the monopoly money that they play with, yeah, he's definitely worth that kind of money,
Yeah.
So that's how I would answer that question.
For sure. Absolutely. So look, all we can do right now, obviously we are one game away from the official start of the actual season. Look, I told everybody, right? I was like, pay attention to the sideline. If you're that concerned, look at the sideline this Saturday. If Lamar has his hand taped, if he has his foot taped, then we know there's a problem. If he's walking around, if he's smiling, if both hands are exposed, I think right now everybody just needs to
breathe.
Just breathe.
Yeah.
Just breathe.
If a worse update comes up, yeah, then I'd be concerned. But until then, like you said, if you see him on the sidelines walking around, even if he was healthy, he wasn't playing in the last preseason game, right? So we know that. Yeah. Right. So he definitely wasn't playing. So if he's on the sideline and he's walking around and you don't see him walking around limping with a cane or anything, he's fine.
He's fine.
I think he's fine. I don't think there's anything to worry about with Lamar Jackson.
Okay. All right. So moving on, the Ravens picked up two veteran players in Jair Alexander and DeAndre Hopkins, both of which have not really practiced with the team. Apparently, Jair hasn't practiced with the team since August 9th. He's dealing with a pre-existing knee injury that has plagued him from, I believe it was like 2023, 2024. D-Hop has gotten some reps, but not very many. Now, as far as I'm concerned, I think D-Hop for us is going to be another OBJ, right? You know, he's a veteran guy who you bring in to coach, counsel, put on the field from time to time.
Yep.
I would love to see a big explosive D-Hop play. Who knows if we're going to get it?
Yeah.
Okay. As far as Jair Alexander is concerned, when we brought in Jair, everybody went crazy because it gave us what a lot of people were saying was that final missing piece to the Ravens secondary. The only thing is he has been one of those bugaboo type players with injuries. So, right. I mean, yes, it is concerning, but you got to think too, again, and this is going to bleed into one of the other topics that we're going to talk about here. It's the preseason. You cannot afford your top guys to be going down before the start of the season.
Agreed. Totally agree. I totally agree. Listen, Jerry Alexander, last 2 seasons, 7 games played in the last 2 seasons. 2022, he did play a full season, but the year before that, he only played 4 games. So 3 out of the last 4 seasons, he's been banged up, right? So that's what listen, they picked him up knowing that and saying, okay, listen, if we could get a half a season out of him, but into the playoffs, then that's good. So if you see him out now, as long as he's back by halfway through the season and he could play, you know, down the stretch and then into the playoffs, yeah, that's what you're talking about. Hopkins, they're probably gonna limit his workload anyway, even during the season. Like he's not going to be a starter, right? He's not going to get those kind of reps. So I think it's fine with those 2 guys. I think that's what you're getting those guys for. Just veteran depth. And listen, if they could help you at some point in the season, that's a bonus.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Moving right along. Tyler Loop officially definitively wins the kicking position in Baltimore. Now, everybody knows, I don't have to get into it. We all know the deal with Justin Tucker.
Yeah.
We'll leave that to the side. Now, talking strictly football, everybody knows Justin Tucker's resume. He was considered one of the best NFL kickers in the history of the game, period. So this is the guy that Tyler Loop is replacing. A lot of pressure, big shoes to fill for a rookie guy. But check it out. Last time the Ravens had a rookie kicker, we won the Super Bowl.
There you go. That's how you got to look at it. Listen, it had to be done, right? After everything that came out last year, it had to be done. So it is what it is at this point, you know. And listen, a lot of teams have gone through this with drafting a kicker and just rolling with it. And you just got to go with it. Listen, you could sign a veteran right now who's been good, and you know that guy could go into a slump and possibly ruin your season too. So it's you know how kickers are. Kickers are very fluid. You were very blessed the last 15, 12 years, whatever it's been with Justin Tucker. So now it's back to how everybody else is dealing with it. You got to get lucky, right? Draft a kicker and just roll with it and see how it goes.
Yeah, well, actually, this is the first kicker in franchise history that the Ravens have drafted. Loop, there it is. Yep,
there you go.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I mean, again, I feel for him. I'm rooting for him all the way. For his football time here in Baltimore. Thank you, JT. But Tyler, it's all on you now, Bubba.
Yeah, exactly. Just cross your fingers and that's it. You know, listen, as long as Lamar is healthy and that offense is humming, you shouldn't be worrying about a kicker. Hopefully, right?
Right. Shouldn't be. Right.
Be. But it's going to happen. It's going to come, right? Late in the game. I mean, late in the season, playoff, there's going to be big kick that needs to be made, right? And is this kid up to we'll see.
heart's going to be pounding out of my chest. But
Hey,
when we get there,
I'm sure I have his too, right?
yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Last point I'm going to make for the Ravens, then we're going to talk some Jets real quick. Let's see. Oh, sorry. Screen went black. Okay. LeJohntay Wester, Devontae Walker, and Rasheen Ali. These are three guys who are trying to make the team right now. LeJohntay Wester had that big kickoff return during the Colts game. In the Cowboys game, however, it wasn't looking so great at the wide receiver position. I would say, for me personally, we need that kick return threat. The Ravens have not had an actual kick return threat since Jacoby Jones.
Right.
LeJohntay Wester, he's an absolute speed demon. The guy that's all they were talking about when we picked this up was his speed. I don't think and finally we can say this. The Ravens fans have been waiting forever to say this one, Chris. We finally have depth at the wide receiver position.
Right.
So I don't think LeJohntay needs to be wide receiver 5, wide receiver 6, whatever at this point. Give him the field goal kicker or the kicker. Geez, what am I trying to say, Chris? The kick return position. Give him the kick return position. Yes, thank you.
I got you.
As far as Rasheen Ali, now I know that they said that they were going to be having possibly the Ravens were going to be having 4 running backs. Again, I don't think that's necessary. You have Derrick Henry, Justice Hill, and Keaton Mitchell, who absolutely fought his ass off after an ACL tear last year to come back. They immediately, Ravens were going to him in that first preseason game to see if he could knock the rust off. What's he end up doing? He scores a touchdown from like 30, 40 yards out.
Right.
The team feels confident in him. He feels confident that he's back. As far as Rasheen Ali for that 4th spot, I got to be honest. He showed some impressive, bursts here and there, but also very, very much had some rookie showings too. Like, what are you doing?
Right.
So, and not to mention too, we also picked up Myles Gaskin from the Vikings.
Yeah,
that's another vet presence. Like,
yeah, maybe they put him on the practice squad or something, right?
Right, exactly. So,
because you're not going to carry more than 4 backs anyway on the roster at best. 4.
At best, absolutely right. So, again, I think maybe stick Rasheen back with LeJohntay, because Rasheen actually he had a good kick return as well. Very impressive. I don't think you need to load down that running back room. Definitely keep some depth, and if you need him, if anything should happen, then you throw him in. As far as giving him the official spot, I wouldn't.
Yeah. No, so, I agree.
All right, let's move on. Let's talk some Jets real quick. So, how do you guys feel like when you guys got Justin Fields, right? You finally got away from old man Rodgers, okay? Which we all know that was a complete bust. Don't want to rub any salt in those wounds.
It's all good.
I don't know about you, but I was shocked, absolutely shocked when the Steelers let Justin go. He was young. He is young. He had the potential to be, in my opinion, the next Jaden Daniels for the Commanders. A young kid that you can build a team around. And they let him go and sign Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
So do you guys, as a Jets fan, are you excited to have young talent back there who, I mean, again, I don't really think he ever got the opportunity to show what he was made of in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, no, I agree. I was surprised too that they let him go, because they have no answer at quarterback, Pittsburgh, right?
Right.
They had nothing going into, the offseason. So I was surprised they let him go. But maybe they had it there, they had Aaron Rodgers in mind and thought, hey, listen, maybe we could bring him in for a year. We'll draft somebody this year. And then, he could kind of work behind, Rodgers for the season. And maybe we could catch lightning in a bottle with Rodgers that the Jets couldn't for 2 years.
Yeah.
So, that's how that goes. But yeah, listen, Fields, the good thing about the Jets with Justin Fields is that they're building the offense around him, right?
Yes.
It's going
As
to be
they should.
a run-based offense. They're going to run the ball a lot. He still has to make some big throws, right? We know that, but it's going to be mostly running the ball. They got a really good crop, top 3 run, not top 3 in the league, but they got 3 really good backs, to really push the ball downfield, right? To run the ball. The key, obviously, is going to be the offensive line. We got 2 really young tackles, right? We drafted one last year. We drafted one this year.
Yeah.
So that's going to be, if they could develop, this line's got a chance to be a top 10, top 5 in the league.
So how is Jets? How do you guys feel about the draft? How do you guys feel they did?
I liked it. I thought it was pretty good. Listen, it's the first year in the, the Aaron Glenn, Moogie, the GM in their regime. So we have to I hate to use this term, but in our, at this point with the Jets, we have to trust the process, right? We hear that all the time. You're right. That's famously said for all these rebuilding teams. That's what we got to do. We got to trust the process. So I loved Membu in the first round, the tackle. And then we've got Mason Taylor, Jason Taylor's kid, the tight end. Really good coming out of LSU. Then the next few, were, I don't want to say questionable. We got Thomas, the cornerback from Florida State. He's got a chance to be really good. But we got, that's the one thing we do have. We do have really good corners already. And then you got to add a wide receiver, Arian Smith from Georgia. Malachi Moore, a safety from Alabama. So I think we did pretty good in the draft. I felt pretty good. The one thing I feel like the Jets are headed in the right direction.
Yeah.
Is that going to lead to playoffs and all the good stuff? Yeah, maybe. And I'm really hoping that happens, but we'll see. But right now, a lot's that's going to be determined is the offensive line and also with Justin Fields, obviously.
Absolutely. Bruno, what's up, buddy? Yeah, and not to mention too, you guys just picked up Harrison Phillips from the Vikings. So I mean, the one thing that I've heard from Jets fans, and I heard it from you guys back when we used to do another show, was it sounds like you got like the draft, you guys are getting players. You guys are getting players, you guys are getting these defenses that are supposed to be stacked,
Right.
I think I think the biggest problem for the Jets has been the same problem for the Browns, which we're going to be talking about them too here soon, the QB position. So I don't know. Like I said, I'm super excited for you guys because I would love to see the Jets do with Justin Fields what the Commanders did with Jaden Daniels. I would love to see it.
Yeah, that would be great. I don't know if that's going to happen, but yeah, that would be pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I just think, Justin Fields is coming in as a big question mark, right? I was talking about this earlier on my Jets podcast that I co-host. It's called Lift Off Jets. But we were talking to actually Marvin Jones III. It's Marvin Jones. He's a former Jet tackle back from the 80s. Awesome player, actually. 5-time Pro Bowler, 3-time All-Pro. But anyway, his son was talking. He had some he played in the NFL for a little bit too. But we were talking about this. And with Justin Fields, yeah, he's a big question mark. But he also has a high ceiling, right? I mean, if you've seen him in college, that kid was great in Ohio State. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, the kid does have a high ceiling, but we just haven't seen it yet. And can the Jets bring it out? I don't know. I hope so. And I think building the offense around him, I think is going to be the best thing. Building a run-based offense. That's one thing he does well too, right? He could run very well for a quarterback. So I feel pretty good. listen, I don't know if they're going to get to the playoffs this year, but if everything falls right, that is a possibility. It's
Absolutely.
it's a lot of stuff has to fall into place. Obviously, we're not talking about the Ravens or the Bills and the Chiefs, those kind of teams that are in the playoffs already, but you know what I'm talking about. Like everything has to, if it doesn't, at the very least, hopefully Justin Fields answers the question of, is he the franchise quarterback or can he be the franchise quarterback? If that's not answered by the end of the year, then it's, next off season, it's looking for a quarterback, right? Either draft, free agency, trade, whatever. So we'll see.
I mean, would you guys give up on him that quickly though? After one season?
I don't know. He signed for 2 years, so
yeah.
I just hope that most of the answers are answered by the end of the year for him.
That's fair.
Yeah. If he gets to the off season and we're still like, yeah, I don't know, this guy, I think we'll know. I think we'll know one way or the other. Like, keep going with him, or all right, we got to draft the quarterback. Like I think we'll know by the end of the year, one way or the other. We'll know. I think not will, but the coaching staff will know. So we'll see.
You guys, you'll know too. You'll be watching.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and you know what? Listen. I feel pretty good. Whatever the decision is at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Again, trust the process. I loved Aaron Glenn being hired as the head coach. Like he's due to be a head coach, and I'm happy he's back with the Jets. Played for us for so long, so I'm happy. I think we're going in the right direction. I just can't wait to see the season start, and it's gonna be a lot of bumps in the road. Obviously, a lot of peaks and valleys. I know that, but at least I know we're heading in the right direction.
Absolutely, I'll take it. Like I said, I'm excited for you guys, man. Thanks. Okay. So we have talked our teams. Now it's time for this part in the show where we start talking about the other teams around the league. Let's start with the Cleveland Browns. Joe Flacco named the starter in Cleveland. Chris.
That was an interesting choice.
Yes.
Interesting choice.
It is.
It's weird because in the offseason, they traded for Kenny Pickett, right?
Yep. Then
in the draft, they drafted two quarterbacks, not one. They drafted what's his name, Gabriel from Oregon,
Dylan
and then
Gabriel.
They drafted, we know famously Shedeur Sanders, and then they signed Joe Flacco, right? So that's
right.
Very strange that he's the number one guy. It just makes it like I thought when they traded for Pickett, I thought he was going to be the starter. Right?
Exactly. Sure.
So I would think he's going to be the backup. If Flacco's the starter, he's going to be the backup. So, and how many teams keep 4 quarterbacks? None.
None.
Think, right?
Yeah.
So
I would think
those are you 2 on the active roster, and one of the rookies is going to be on the practice squad, and one of them is either going to get traded or, unfortunately cut. I would think. I mean, that's just my guess.
Sure.
But it's going to be interesting who they keep, right? I mean, Sanders looked really good. It was weird. There's another thing. This is the Browns, right?
Yes.
Week 1 in the preseason, Shedeur Sanders played, and he impressed, right? He looked really good.
He did.
And then he doesn't play week 2. So, is he going to play week 3? I don't know. Like, what is this team doing?
I mean, I don't know at this point. Like you because you've got him at the very bottom of the depth chart. He's behind, if I'm correct, and from what I'm looking at, he's behind Dylan Gabriel.
Wow.
Like, yeah, he's QB4. So, is this the Browns being the Browns? Most likely.
Yeah.
Like, again, now I remember, and I went on record a long time ago, again, on another show, I had said back when Kenny Pickett was in Pittsburgh, Kenny Pickett's not the guy.
Right.
I stated that very, very clearly. I was like, Pittsburgh, that is not your guy. And look where he is. But at the moment, Cleveland, he could have been. But no, what do? You go out and you get Joe. Then, like Chris said, you sign 2 guys, Shedeur being, that is all anyone. I almost cussed. We can cuss, but I don't.
I know what you mean.
That's all we heard about in the draft was Shador. He doesn't get picked up. He falls as far as you could possibly fall, and he gets picked up by the Browns. The Browns, who need a quarterback. There's your need. You got him. You got a guy.
And two guys.
You got two guys. Yeah, you're right. You got two guys. And you sign Joe and you start Joe.
That's the strangest thing I've seen all off season. And like I said, now I don't know what they're going to do. Like if it is the truth, if Sanders really is number 4 on the depth chart, like it's just a matter of time. Because right, one of the big things with drafting Shador Sanders was all the off the field stuff, right? It's just a matter of time before he starts, putting something on Twitter, or his dad starts putting something on Twitter. Like, there's going to be cryptic tweets going out and all that kind of stuff. We know that's going to happen. Right. And that's why a lot of teams stayed away from Sanders, on top of, not taking the, the pre-draft meetings serious and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And all it is combined, you know what I mean? And that's the bad part. So yeah, exactly. Sanders doesn't have daddy coaching anymore. You're 100% right.
Yeah.
And that is true. And listen, and he's had him coached, since high school, right? Since he was a kid. Yeah. And he's been through college, whatever. And now it's the pros. That's why I think a lot of teams stayed away, because think about it. If you're a coach, you're going to draft this kid, and then like in another year, you're going to have the shadow of possibly Deion Sanders coming and taking over your job. Right.
Yeah,
so, it's an ugly situation. Listen, if you could make a ugly situation uglier, the Browns will do it, right? Trading for Deshaun Watson was probably the first one, and giving him a guaranteed contract. So not only did you trade for him, but you give him that stupid fully guaranteed contract.
Crazy money. Right.
And he hasn't been the same since all that stuff. So, and he's probably not going to play at least the first half of the season.
Well, I mean, you could say the same thing about Joe Flacco. Flacco had that MVP Super Bowl year. They gave him $112 million contract after the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And Joe kind of just sat back hard as shit and was just kind of like, all right, I got my Super Bowl. I got my MVP. I got my money.
Right.
I did what I had to do. And it's no, Joe, no.
They had to pay him after the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
sure.
Quarterback, right, gets paid, whatever. But yeah, it's an interesting situation in Cleveland. But saying that, it's not really anything new, right?
I absolutely, I agree. I mean,
I'm going to disagree with that wrestling chick. He cared. He definitely
cared. Yeah, he cared. Yeah, right. But the play didn't match what he was paid.
All right. Is it possible? I'll say it this way. Is it possible with Flacco? Maybe he just wasn't that good. Like he went on a magic run that year for the Super Bowl, right? Because he hasn't really matched that year again in his whole career. Maybe that was just a great run, awesome season, right? Not taking anything away from the guy. Trust me, I'm not. Definitely deserved it. MVP, all that. Yeah, he deserved the contract, but maybe that was like his best season he was ever gonna play, right? And that's basically what it was. So
yeah, I mean, because too, like his name got thrown into the elite QB conversation many, many, many times because of that run.
Right.
But like I said, after it didn't match up. It didn't match up at all. Something happened.
Yeah.
And I would hate to say that a guy who had that amazing performance had, everybody in the city of Baltimore loved him. I would hate to say that he got his bag in quick Karen. That would be horrible.
Yeah. So, all right. So what's the other situation in Indianapolis? That's another interesting quarterback starting, right? With Daniel Jones starting over Anthony Richardson. What were your thoughts there?
I mean, Anthony Richardson too. He's another guy he's been out all around the league. But again, he's injury prone. He got hit. when I say he got hit, he got absolutely blasted by David Ajabo because he was tackled undefended. Whoever was blocking for him on that play, something must have been said on the sideline because this dude just totally sidestepped and let him get destroyed. I don't know. I mean, again, you're I don't know. Are they favoring the experience, the name over giving the deserved player the start? I don't know.
See, the whole thing, Richardson has not been that good in his first 2 years, right? And maybe in camp, listen, maybe Daniel Jones is having the better camp. And, they could say, well, Daniel Jones went to the playoffs with the Giants a couple of years ago. They could look back on that. Richardson is still unproven, but I think this is also partly Indianapolis's faults, right? When they drafted him, right? If you remember in the draft, like they were saying, this kid's a project, he needs to sit, they need to be patient with this kid, all this stuff. Because even in college, he has unbelievable physical tools, but he's also erratic, right? With his throws and everything. So he needs to develop. So what they needed to do was to sit him in the beginning. They shouldn't have thrown him right in the wood, right in the fire from week one or whatever, whenever they started him. He should have sat the whole first season, just sit back, learn, take a step back first. That's we were talking about that earlier too, is that a lot of the great quarterbacks didn't get thrown into the fire week one, right? They took their time. Patrick Mahomes, he didn't start week one. He started the very last week of his rookie season.
Yeah.
That was it, right? And then they made the playoffs. He didn't play. And then, boom, week one the following year. And he hasn't missed an AFC championship game since he started playing, which is ridiculous to think of that. But that's Patrick Mahomes. So I think the Colts are partly to blame here. Yeah, the player obviously has to develop on his own. Right. But still, I think they did him wrong. And now you're starting Daniel Jones. And this probably ends Anthony Richards' time in Indianapolis. I'm sure they're going to probably try to trade him either now or in the offseason. So we'll see.
Yeah, you would think so. I mean, time will tell. That's all you can do with that one. Last one I wanted to talk about, I had mentioned to you right before we got on. And you know what? Good for him, or good for his agent. Let's put it that way. Everybody knows about Jerry Jones, the absolute worst owner in NFL history.
Yeah, more or less.
More.
Right.
So the big drama surrounding Micah Parsons. Okay, this is a guy who vehemently went online, went on social media, told everybody he wants out of Dallas. And apparently Jerry Jones took that and was like, okay, well, here's an offer for you to maybe, I don't know, take a look at it.
Right.
Apparently that offer never even reached Micah. It only got as far as Micah's agent. The agent responded to Jerry Jones with a text saying, shove that offer up your ass.
Okay. So it was obviously insulting, and we're talking about, one of the best young defensive players in all of the NFL, right?
Yes. Maybe
the best young defensive player, whatever you want to say, but he's up there. Like, how do you mess this up as an owner, right? Like, you got this young, great young player who's tearing up the league, and you don't want to extend this guy? Like, what is wrong with you? And you know what? If you don't want to sign somebody for whatever reason, I don't know what his reason is, whatever it is, do yourself a favor and trade the guy before the draft.
Yes.
So you can get picks in that draft to try to replace him, right? Or a player or something. Like, now, if you trade him now, a team's going to throw you, draft picks, right?
Sure.
But that's for next year. So you're basically, punting this season if you do that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you're going to do like you said, if you're going to do the guy dirty, so to speak, at least get some value out of him. Hello, Candy. How you doing? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, if you're going to do the guy dirty, at least get some value out of him. But to, like I said, this offer, and I want to see it, Chris. I hope it gets posted somewhere. I want to know what it was that garnered that type of response. Like I said, not only did it get that type of response, it never even made it to Micah.
Yeah,
Micah never even saw it. The agent was like, "Hold my beer, I got it."
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. You can't insult him. Like he's your franchise player. One of the like I said, one of the best young defensive players in the league, and you're going to insult him? Like, come on, just. I get it's a game. But you know what? With a guy like that, you don't play games with.
No.
So,
I mean,
and then like you go to the other team, right? You got the Bengals.
Yeah.
You got Trey Hendrickson. He's another guy. All right, he's not the young star. He's the a little bit older. He's like 30, right?
Yeah.
But dude, the guy the last 3 years, he's been in the Pro Bowl every year. The guy's leading the league in sacks every year. He's a monster. And you're talking about one of the worst defenses in the league. But they're also one of the best offenses in the league because of Joe Burrow.
Yes.
So now if you take away Hendrickson off this defense, yeah, good luck, Cincinnati. You ain't stopping nobody this year.
No, right. I mean, like it's almost like these, quarterbacks and yeah, I can't even think of another position. Maybe just recently because of Saquon, maybe running backs are the highest paid players on teams, to where valuable players like Hendrickson, like Micah are being undervalued. And I mean, look at the potential places these players could go. I mean, the Ravens are known for their defense. Imagine if we picked up Micah. Imagine if we picked up Hendrickson. The Steelers have always had great defenses. I mean, the Chiefs are always a threat because they're always in contention for the Super Bowl. The Bills,
they would take them
of course they would. Sure, they would.
About this. All right, they traded for Trey. I think they signed Trey Hendrickson in 2021. Since 2021, he's been in the Pro Bowl every year for the Bengals. So he's 4 straight Pro Bowls. He made the All-Pro last season. He was second in the Defensive Player of the Year voting, and he led the league in sacks last year with 17.5. He had 17.5 the year before. He had 8 the year before that, and he had 14 in his first year with the Bengals. So right now he's 30 years old.
Wow.
Like, what are you doing? Like, sign the guy. Just get it done. Yeah. Like, what are you doing? Like, and you need defense, right? Yes. Like the Bengals are, this great offense. They're going to score like crazy. They're going to score 35 a game, with Joe Burrow throwing to Higgins and Jamar Chase all day, right? So they're going to score a bunch of points, but they're also going to give up a lot of points.
Well, yeah. I mean, so I saw a graphic. The other day. Joe Burrow's most passing yards against teams last year, he had 525 passing yards against the Ravens. Insane. And the crazy part is if you look back at those 2 games, they had us dead to rights, Chris. Right. They had us they had our ass whooped, and they lost. They lost both games because of that defense. If if I'm Joe Burrow, if I'm the captain of that team, which he is, I'm sitting there and I'm going, hey, I can do you ain't got to worry about me. I can give you points, but you got to back me up.
Right. And then the other guy that's holding out is Terry McLaurin, the wide receiver for Washington, right? And the thing with Hendrickson, I was watching it today. They were talking about it, that it's about guaranteed money. They don't want to guaranteed as much as he wants guaranteed and all that. I mean, come on. If it's about that, just get it done. You know what player you're getting. It's not like you're signing a guy from a different team and you don't know how he's going to fit into your system. Like, dude, 4 straight Pro Bowls for this guy. Just get it done. So, and then you got McLaurin for Washington. He's looking for more money. Now he wants to be traded. this guy, I mean, all right, he's entering his age 30 season. So maybe, but again, trade him before the draft so you get something for him. Now it's like, you're going to get a draft pick, oh, okay. Yeah. We're set for next year, but if you're Washington, you're like, we need him this year. We need McLaurin this year.
Yeah. And I mean, well, you know what? And if I'm McLaurin too, I mean, like, again, you finally have a guy that your team can be proud of, that you can build around, that you can have a future in Jaden Daniels.
Right.
I don't think if I'm McLaurin, I don't know if I'd be ready to split on this team yet, because look how far they went last year. Nobody expected that. Nobody. Right. No, there's not an NFL fan on this earth that you could have talked to that would have told you that the Commanders would have gone as far as they did last year. Right. And if they do, they're lying.
Right. And then you take one of your best offensive players away. Yeah. You know what? They did get Deebo Samuel this year. Yeah. So yeah. Okay. They're going to be better, but still you can't take a guy like that off the team and just expect, oh yeah, they'll be fine. Like, come on, just get this done. Right. I don't know. It's mind boggling how they've done this. So
absolutely.
I don't know.
I feel like so many people are underpaid, undervalued, not just with football, but yeah.
That's a whole other podcast right there.
Yeah, right.
If you want to talk about it, right? That's a whole other show.
Sports.
Yeah.
Only sports.
Yes.
But,
I agree. But I agree.
Very
with
true.
that.
Very true.
Yeah.
Okay. So moving on here, let's see. Yeah. Is it I saw you brought it up. Yeah. Is it risky to play starters in preseason games? How do you feel about teams like the Bengals, who are starting their entire starting offensive,
Okay, that's a perfect team to bring up, right? Because we could talk about the Bengals. Since I think I've seen a stat, since 2020, they've got like 2 wins in the first 2 weeks of the season in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
So they've started slow. Yeah. So that's why they're trying. All right, listen, we got to, they shouldn't play the whole game, but they should play some series, right?
Right.
And let me tell you something, like when they had the way that the NFL used to do it, when there was 4 preseason games,
yes.
Week 1, the starters would play maybe a series, right? Or 2, that's it. Then their second preseason game, they play like a quarter and a half, right?
Right.
Then the third preseason game, they would play just about the whole game, the starters, like at least definitely into the third quarter. And then the fourth preseason game would be the game where it's like, all right, get all the guys that we don't want to get hurt. You're fighting for like the last 2 spots on the roster, that kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
But that's how it used to be. Like now, a lot of teams are not playing their starters in any of the preseason games. I don't think that's a smart thing to do, because there are, you are also talking about a limited practice time too. So now you're taking even less, practice. So I don't like that. I like them playing,
I would say,
hello, Kelly. Not a lot.
Yeah. So here's what I would say. For a team like Cincinnati, let's be honest here. They are in the same situation as the Ravens. If anything, God forbid, were to happen to Joe Burrow, there goes your season. Because you have Jamar Chase, but who's throwing to him?
Yeah.
And what happens if Jamar Chase goes down? Like, I just think I understand.
But they got to play a little bit. That's what I'm saying. They got to play a little bit.
I agree with you. That also sucks for fit. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, of course. Of course. Yeah. And that's what's important. No. For us, it is.
I think, I can understand wanting to knock the rust off, wanting to, keep players fresh, let them get some reps in.
Yeah.
But the risk, right? Like I said, just imagine, Joe Burrow's out there. He takes a hit, or he just goes down. It's his ACL. That's it.
Get hurt they get hurt getting, practicing.
And practice too.
We were talking about it earlier today, right? We were talking about it earlier with Lamar Jackson. So
yes,
it is risky. I totally agree. But I think especially these teams that obviously are starting off slow, because, right there, I just told you, like Joe Burrow, like the Bengals, they won 2 games in the last 5 years in the first 2 weeks of the season.
Yeah.
So if you're giving away those 2 games early on, you're starting already in the hole, right? In a tough division like the AFC North, you can't give up games, right? You can't give out. You give up 2 games, look what happens, right? They don't make the playoffs last year. They were like a game short. If one of those games goes the other way, we're talking about the Bengals in the playoffs, and who knows what they could do in the playoffs, right?
Sure.
We've seen teams make runs, right? So I think so. There is, we're talking about both sides. Like your side, it's hugely risky, but there's also a really good reward that your team is like ready to go week 1. It should be ready to go week 1, but right, it should go. But you know what I'm saying, so,
right? No, absolutely. Yeah, no, I agree with you, and I can definitely see both sides. To me, like I said, I would feel like it's just protecting your investments.
I agree,
and maybe that's where I fall.
I think a couple of series they could get away with.
Yeah,
I'm not playing Joe Burrow, 3 quarters.
No.
I'm not doing that, but I'm going to play him a few just to, just kind of work the rust off, because practice is practice. We know that. So
sure. Absolutely. All right, let's move right along. Chris, your thoughts on the new digital first down edition? What do you think about that?
I like it. I think it was a matter of time that they did do this, right? Because you see it in tennis, you see it in other sports. It was just a matter of time, instead of having, 2 guys running down with the with the yard marker or whatever. So right. I like it. I think it's awesome.
I mean, do you think that wipes out the need for the chain gang though? Like, why have them if
oh yeah, I don't think they're really doing anything anymore, right? I don't know.
I mean, well, I'm saying they're still there, so it's like,
I guess it's a backup. They're like a backup now, in case, because the computer system is gonna screw up at some point, right? Someone's gonna like whatever, the deal. Like something's gonna happen, and they're gonna need the 2 guys running down with the the thing. So I think it's as a backup, but I like it. I think it's good.
So it's about time then.
Yeah.
Okay.
2025. I think we got to get it, right?
Yeah.
Tennis has been doing it for like 20 years. So I think the NFL deserves to get a shot at that. So
all right. Sleeper team pick. Who you got for 2025, Chris?
Oh, I have a couple. You know what? Talking to Marvin Powell today. He talked me into the Bears today.
Okay.
I wasn't sold. He's sold on Caleb. He thinks Caleb's going to break out this year. Listen, they got the offense, right? Other than Caleb Williams, you got really good wide receivers. You got a couple of good tight ends. They just drafted the kid from Michigan, Loveland, and they had Cole Kmet, right? They had the wide receivers. Yeah, it's all. And now you add Ben Johnson from the Lions, right? To be the head coach. And we've seen what he did with the Lions. And the Lions offense was ridiculous the last couple of seasons. So can he get Caleb Williams to take that next step? And I think he does. I definitely think they make the playoffs. I would do that. And to do another team that I kind of liked is Atlanta. Atlanta last year, I think I was looking at their schedule. I think 4 or 5 of their games last year, they lost by like 7 or less points. So they were in every single game. And remember, Kirk Cousins started the first 15 games or whatever it was so it really depends on Penix this year. Can he, take that next step as a starter this year? So those are my 2. Well, what are your 2?
Okay. So I'm actually going back with the Commanders. I like Jaden. I like him a lot. Like I said, if you are the Commanders, you do right by this kid no matter what. And that means locking down McLaurin if you have to. Pay this guy. Pay him. Detroit, even though I'm a Niners fan. Hell yeah. Absolutely. I mean, Detroit's
going to be good, man. Last year they were, I think, 15-2. And remember, like, how many guys got hurt for them throughout the season? They were banged up. By the time they got to the playoffs, they were like really hurting. So
injuries is absolutely what killed the Lions last year. I 100% had the Lions in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think a lot of people did. I think
it was their year. It was their year 100%.
Yeah. So I think it could be this year, but like you got a new OC, you got a new DC. right? Because Aaron Glenn left, Ben Johnson left. So that's going to be really the story, I think. Obviously staying healthy, every team needs to stay healthy. But
Yes.
Other than that, I think it's the coordinators. Can they, can they just step in? Is this team just on cruise control now? Or was it Ben Johnson who did such a great job? So we'll see.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. So like I said, I'm going back with the Commanders.
I'll be honest though, I don't consider them a sleeper team, right? Because they made it to the NFC Championship game.
They did. They did. So. But I feel like, again, could that be a one and done? What I'm saying is, can they do it again?
Gotcha. I got you.
Let's see if they can do it again.
All right, give me a team that didn't make the playoffs that you think will make the playoffs this year.
Okay.
I'll put you on the spot.
I'm not just saying it because it's the aesthetic of the show. I'm gonna go with the Jets. Okay. I'm picking the Jets because, like I said, I don't think Justin Fields ever got a chance to fully develop in Pittsburgh. The Jets need a quarterback. They have a quarterback. They have a quarterback who's young, who's fresh, who I think if he gets hot, if this team can rally around him, if he can rally around this team, sky's the limit. Like, and every year I watch Jets fans like, oh, this is our year. We got it. We're gonna do it. And you know what? I would love to see it happen. I would love to see this kid flourish there because, again, you go to a team with little to no expectations. The ball is absolutely in your court. You are the guy. You're the guy. You have everything to gain here. So go do it. Do it.
He's been given the keys. So let's see. So that's a confidence booster right off the bat, right? So hopefully that's gonna propel him to do it. So hey, I'm with you. I hope you're right. But we'll see. So you brought up a good question to ask, right? So I'm gonna put it up.
Cool.
And if anybody wants to put their teams in there, what team or teams would you not want to play for in the NFL if you were drafted?
Right. So draft day comes, you get drafted. What's the team that drafts you and you go, nope.
I'm retiring. No.
Yeah, right. Well, that was fun. Hi, Mom.
I'm going back to college.
Right. Absolutely.
We would. I think one team we could both agree on, and I think most people would agree with that. We were talking about them already. Was definitely the Browns. I don't think anybody wants to, and it has nothing to do with. Listen, if you're a Browns fan out there, please have nothing to do with the city, with the fans. I think the fans are great. So that's the great part of the Cleveland Browns, right?
Hey, man, for real, Cleveland fans, you guys,
you deserve it, man. You deserve a championship.
you are what diehard fans are made of because all the stuff you guys have had to put up with, holy crap.
Yeah.
So, not KC, Dallas, New England, or the Dolphins. Okay. I mean, I would.
KC, I'd want to play because they got. I mean, the coaching there. That's a great system, right? With Andy Reid. So
Dallas because of
I agree with
Jones.
Dallas. Yeah, I'm okay with not playing with Dallas. I don't want to be with Jerry Jones. New England.
At one point in time, I would have loved to play for New England.
Yeah, right. Not anymore. Well, we'll see. You never know. They might be good. Miami, I don't want to play for either. I mean, it's a great. Listen, living down there has got to be awesome, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
sure.
South Florida's got to be great.
Young kid living in Miami.
Right.
No. Absolutely not.
I'm not a Steeler fan either, but I like Tomlin, but I'm not a Steeler fan. So but listen, hey, if they draft you, right? You got to go. Because I hate listen, in another, I don't know how much longer is Kelsey going to play, right?
I would okay.
He don't got much more.
I would think, if this is not his last season, he's got maybe a season left.
Yes, right.
So, so for me, if I was drafted by the Browns, the Colts, the Steelers, or I would probably say either the Jaguars or the Raiders. Those are teams I probably wouldn't play for either.
The Raiders, I
Steelers,
think, are a little bit better now.
yeah.
Right. Because of what's his name went back. Pete Carroll went there again. You know, he went to be the coach there. So they should be better. Right.
Right.
At least run better. You would think so.
Yeah. I mean, the Steelers, obviously, for me, again, it's obvious. The Colts, I feel, and I was telling Chris this off air, I feel like that would just be blasphemous for a Maryland guy to play for Indianapolis. Would be like, nah, can't do it.
Just a little added to Kelsey. Kelsey's contract is just for this year. He's got no contract after this year.
Okay.
So he might be done after this season.
Yeah.
And he's 30, he'll be 36.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know, a lot of people have said too, you know, they've made before the Ravens had any wide receivers to speak of, the narrative was, what is Lamar Jackson without Mark Andrews? So what happens to Mahomes after Kelsey's gone?
Yeah. I mean, listen, Kelsey's a first ballot Hall of Famer without a doubt.
Yep.
But I think he'll be fine without him. You know, like as long as they find somebody, they're not going to find another Travis Kelce. Right. So I'm not saying, just find another, but I think they'll be fine. Like, listen, you got great coaching with Andy Reid there. Mahomes is Mahomes. This past year, Kelce was not the guy that we've known, you know, for the last decade, right? This guy was not the same guy. So he's not the same guy. And they made it to the Super Bowl. They didn't win the Super Bowl. Thank God. But, I think, I think they'll be, listen, are they going to win, you know, another 4 Super Bowls or something? I don't know. You just don't know in the NFL, right? Yep. But Mahomes is Mahomes, man.
That's why they say any given Sunday.
That's it. You know that.
So, well, hey, man, I really enjoyed this. I think it went well.
Yeah, this was good. This is a good first show, you know, and listen, we're less than 2 weeks away from week 1 of the NFL, right? So we're going to be ready for that next week. We'll be back next week, probably Tuesday night. But you know what? Hit that sub button so you'll know when it's coming. Hit the notify button so you'll know when we're coming up next. But it should be Tuesday night. And I'm looking forward to it. And like we said, in a few weeks we'll have Rob with us too, and maybe some more guests too will be joining us. But
absolutely, yeah. I mean, again, we've talked off air. We're not going to be loading down the guest spots, so don't be telling your friends and their friends and their friends' friends that, you know, they can come on the show, because that's not going to happen, and we want to be upfront about that. But if we decide to bring you on, we're more than happy to have you. If you know what you're talking about, if you love football the way we do, it'd be awesome to have you guys. Yeah. Guys, thank you for joining us for the debut, the pilot episode of Flight Club Football.
And we'll see you guys next week.
Absolutely.